Now on CoastTV News.
Coastal winds fuel erosion. How these recent cold and windy conditions are causing concern along our coast. Plus, storm fallout hits travel. How air and maritime travel across our region are being disrupted by the weather.
And the sun is shining on Delmarva as we make a beeline towards the freezing mark for the first time in a week. I'm tracking a few light snow chances through this week.
And the talk of the town this morning. Puxatawney Phil saw his shadow, forecasting 6 more weeks of winter. And that's not what the fans want to see, Phil.
This is CoastTV News Midday.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. It's Groundhog's Day, February 2nd, 2026. I'm Grace Eckerly and welcome to CoastTV News Midday. And it's sure feeling like Groundhog's Day as we are waking up to yet another chilly morning on the coast. Taking a live look into Rehoboth Beach, where we heard Phil's forecast. And now we're going to hear from his colleague of sorts, First Alert Meteorologist Chris Mastrobono, joining us now for a first look at today's forecast here. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Grace. Yeah, maybe you could blame the groundhog today for the weather, the cold and the snow and the ice rather than me for maybe just a day. Yeah, 6 more weeks of winter, but I'll tell you what, if you saw our forecast this morning, you would know that we have plenty more winter yet to come here on Delmarva. Look at all the ice there in the bay. Taking a live look into Lewis, 26 degrees. We have crystal clear blue skies, 27 in Georgetown. We're at 29 in Salisbury, 26 in Harrington. Well, it's been quite a stretch of days at or below 32. It's been up for a week now, and that's the longest stretch since 2017-18. And look at our longest stretch back in February 9th to the 20th of 1979. We were at or below freezing for 12 straight days. We have clear skies across all of Delmarva, and we are looking at wall-to-wall sunshine through the afternoon as we top out right around that freezing mark across the area, and then we'll fall to 21 by around 10. It's going to be another cold night. Wind chills aren't going to be as brutal over the next few days. I'll have the latest on some light snow chances here over the next few days in that full 7-day forecast.
Thank you, Chris. And the roads may be clear there in places like Ocean City, but the freezing and windy conditions could still cause problems in our coastal towns, and that's erosion. Howard Schwartz is staying in Ocean Pines at his second home to make sure nothing is damaged during the cold snap, and he says he has his concerns.
Definitely concerns about erosion, and the waves hitting the input are very similar to the waves we've had when we've had hurricanes in the past and nor'easters. These are tremendous waves with potential to do damage.
The conditions are bringing rough waves in Ocean City, which could contribute to erosion. It's been an ongoing issue along Delmarva's coast. And this just in, the Cape May Lewis Ferry has canceled all departures today because of icy conditions across the Delaware Bay. You can see that icy scene here on your screen now. This is footage that we captured just moments ago. The ferry service apologizing to passengers for the inconvenience. The Delaware River and Bay Authority has rescheduled a virtual public hearing to discuss proposed fare changes for 2026, with the forum now set for Monday, February 9th. And the Delaware Department of Health and Social Services is opening warming centers starting today through Friday, February 6th. They will run from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. in Sussex County at the Shipley State Service Center, Adams State Service Center, and Laurel State Service Center. In Kent County at the Williams State Service Center and Smyrna State Service Center. In Newcastle County at the Canby Park Office, Claymont State Service Center, and Churchman's Corporate Center. And new overnight, North Carolina Governor Josh Steen says a historic snowstorm blanketed the state. Steen says that all 100 counties saw snowfall and hazardous conditions that will persist for days. The governor confirms more than 1,000 collisions occurred over the weekend, including 2 that were deadly.
Black ice is going to remain a risk throughout the week because of below freezing nighttime temperatures. For your own safety and for the safety of the people clearing the roads, please stay at home if you possibly can.
And according to the governor, there was also a major traffic jam on I-85 involving more than 100 vehicles. And as Charlotte continues to dig out from this weekend's snowstorm, air traffic to North Carolina's Queen City still attempting to recover. 800 flights were canceled on Sunday, and this morning the first flight out of the Salisbury Regional Airport to Charlotte was delayed. We are now taking a live look into Washington, D.C. on this Monday morning. as the U.S. government is still in a partial shutdown. As tensions are still high from the events in Minneapolis, Democrats say how long that takes depends on the reforms to immigration enforcement. NBC's Alice Barr shows us how lawmakers are reacting as the House could vote on Tuesday.
House members returned to an icy Washington today looking to unfreeze funding for large chunks of the government, now in a partial shutdown. House Speaker Mike Johnson predicting passage by tomorrow of a Senate-passed package that fully funds most of the government while splitting off the Department of Homeland Security.
I'm confident that we'll do it at least by Tuesday.
Congress then has 2 weeks to negotiate the immigration enforcement reforms Democrats are demanding, including ending roving ICE patrols and body cameras on all federal immigration officers. Speaker Johnson citing President Trump's border czar.
I think even Tom Homan has acknowledged both of those things are acceptable and what he was intending to do already. So I think we're on the path to get agreement.
The top Democrat in the House underscoring that path must lead to dramatic reform.
The administration can't just talk the talk. They need to walk the walk.
Some leading Democrats urging a no vote on even the short-term package, pressing to repeal a huge spike in funding ICE secured under last year's so-called Big Beautiful Bill.
I just don't see how in good conscience Democrats can vote for continuing ICE funding when they're killing American citizens.
That amid weekend vigils in Minneapolis for 2 people killed by federal immigration officers, Renee Good.
It's been very, very difficult.
And ICU nurse Alex Preddy.
He lived to help others, and that's what he did. And we were so fortunate to know him and have him as a friend.
Reminders of what's at stake as lawmakers look for agreement to reopen the government with key reforms. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Now stay with us on Coast TV News Midday, because coming up, farm animals face the cold, how farmers are keeping everyone warm and safe in these bone-chilling temperatures.
We'll slowly thaw out a bit here over the next 2 days ahead of a few light snow opportunities through the next 5 to 6 days. I'll break down those chances here in a few minutes. And congratulations to Karen Healy of Millsboro, Delaware on winning an umbrella from Coast TV. Your full 7-day forecast just minutes away.
Growth on the coast. We know it's a big issue, and we have growing pains because everyone wants to live here. But it comes at a cost. Roads, infrastructure, development, a loss of open space, all that creates conflict and concerns. Coast TV News has investigated all the deep-seated issues that brought us to where we are today. And on February 4th at 7 p.m., join us for a 1-hour special to help you understand the price of paradise, growth on the coast. Well, while most of us are bundling up to stay warm, farmers say we can't forget about the animals. And with cold weather moving into our area, protecting livestock becomes even more important. Courageous Hearts is one of the many places here in Delaware with farm animals trying to keep their livestock protected from the cold. Rebecca Bauman, who has worked at the farm since she was 16, says while horses can grow thick winter coats, their hooves can be more vulnerable.
They're kind of like dogs, but the bottom part is like our fingernails. That doesn't really affect them, but right here is where the skin starts to connect, and if that gets too icy, it can start to bring their body temperature down a little bit.
Farmers say that some horses need a little extra help, so they use these blankets or covers, you can see them on the screen now, to keep them warmer since they may have a thinner coat of hair. However, they say that the cows and donkeys generally do fairly well in these colder temperatures. And coming up next, we're taking a live look into our Chris Cam. Chris Mastrobono in the First Alert Weather Center. He's got your full forecast for this week after this.
Well, hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. We broke record cold highs on Saturday and Sunday in Georgetown. We flipped the calendar over to February, and yes, we continued this cold weather pattern. We had under bright blue skies in Cambridge, 29. You can see the icy docks there. We're at 27 in Long Neck, 26 in Milton, and 27 in Georgetown. Wind chills, well, we're not seeing any sub-zero wind chills like we had yesterday. We're feeling like 15 in Rehoboth, feels like 18 in Ocean City, and it feels like 18 in Georgetown with that wind flow out of the northwest. Still picking up some gusts, 24 Indian River Inlet to 24 in Ocean City. So we are clear and dry, and well, that's the way we're going to stay for most of the day today as we under the influence of high pressure. This high is going to continue sliding off to the east, and we're going to see more of a southwest wind kick in tomorrow, and then we're watching a weak clipper system that's going to brush us with some light snow as we go into tomorrow night. Look at the snowpack across much of the east, stretching all the way down to South Carolina and Georgia and northern Louisiana. This has been quite an Arctic outbreak throughout the eastern half of the United States. You can see precipitation chances not really screaming off the board here over the next 5 days, but we'll see few weak clipper systems that'll give us an opportunity of some light snow here. Sunny skies through the afternoon, northwest winds 12 miles an hour. We'll get up to right around the freezing mark in Georgetown, 33 east into 33 in Ocean Pines. You can see wind chills holding in the 20s through the afternoon. Notice the wind chill and the temperature are virtually identical as we go into the evening. That's a sign of those winds relaxing through the evening. We stay clear and dry overnight, dipping into the lower to mid-teens. So it's going to be another cold start to our Tuesday, but by the afternoon, we're going to push to near 40 degrees, so that's going to be pretty nice. We'll get that snow and ice melted a little bit, but then the clouds will roll in through the evening. And notice some mixed precipitation moving in here by around 1 a.m. That's a sign of that clipper moving through. You can see some rain to the south, snow across much of the mid-shore, and this is a very light period of snow. We're talking about a 2-hour period here overnight of some brief snow. By daybreak Wednesday, the system is out of here, and most of the day is dry on Wednesday. As far as snow goes, maybe we squeeze out a coating here as we go into early Wednesday morning. See maybe a little snow on that windshield waking up Wednesday morning. By Thursday, we're dry. Friday, most of that day is dry with another weak clipper moving in, bringing another opportunity for some light snow as we go into Friday evening. Behind that clipper, though, we see another shot of Arctic air, and highs are going to be back into the 20s for daytime highs. We're at 32 this afternoon with wall-to-wall sunshine. 15 overnight under mainly clear skies. Will fall to 38 tomorrow, and with that overnight light snow into early Wednesday morning. Wednesday is dry, 36. We are at 29 into Thursday, and then watching that late snow chance into Friday, and then a cold Super Bowl weekend with temperatures in the mid to upper 20s. Grace.
Thanks, Chris. And speaking of that Super Bowl, don't forget it airs right here on Coast TV Sunday, February 8th. Pregame starts at 1, kickoff at 6:30 p.m. Coming up tonight on DSN, your game of the night at 5:15, Queen Anne's takes on North Carolina girls basketball, and then catch the final score at 10:30. And exclusively on DSN Plus, along with that game we just mentioned at 4:30 p.m., you can watch Sussex Central face off against Laurel in girls basketball. At 5:15, Concord visits Stanford in boys basketball. And in boys basketball at 6 p.m., Chincoteague visits Salisbury School. And here's what you look forward to this afternoon on Coast Life at 4 p.m.
Hope you're having a good day so far here along coastal Delmarva. If you join us today at 4, here's what's coming up on Coast Life. It's a new month, and February is actually a great time to take a look at that HVAC system. Make sure everything is running right, or if you need an upgrade. We'll get into the details of that. Also, our friends at Sussex Academy have a fantastic animal program. We're getting in touch with our wild side today. And Valentine's Day is coming up. You're going to need a good date night spot. We've got that too. All of that and so much more is coming your way on Coast Life.
Well, you've heard us talk a lot about these frigid temperatures, and take a look here. These are all the burst pipes that one plumbing company has collected recently. Experts say once they burst, there's really no small solution. Plumbing technician Jeremiah Bull with Selby Family Plumbing says one key move probably could have prevented this.
This insulation here, you see it wet and frozen. It's very cold. So putting this insulation back, making sure everything's insulated, will help keep your pipes from freezing.
These experts, as well as other plumbing companies we've talked to, agree that running a steady stream of water is more useful and preventative measure than using the drip method. Experts say if your pipes do burst, turn off the water as soon as you notice it. Selby Family Plumbing says sometimes if you can catch it within an hour, pipes can be heated back up. But that most of the time, prevention is really the only solution. Remember, experts say another tip is opening your cabinets, especially below sinks, to let the heat in. And coming up, 2026 Olympic Winter Games prep. We'll show you how 2 places in Italy are getting ready as the countdown begins. Milan getting ready to co-host the 2026 Olympic Winter Games with the opening ceremony set to take place on February 6th. Milan will stage figure skating, ice hockey, short track, and speed skating in a mix of newly built and revamped venues. The 2026 Olympic Winter Games will run from February 6th to the 22nd, with the Paralympics to follow in March. Cortina, a popular ski destination, also gearing up to co-host the 2026 Olympic Winter Games alongside Milan. The town will host alpine skiing events and sliding sports. The 2026 edition will mark Italy's third Winter Olympics. Cortina first hosted in 1956, while the most recent Italian Games were staged in 2006. And athletes from around the world began to arrive at the Olympic Village this morning ahead of the Milano-Cortina Winter Games. The village in Milan has around 1,700 beds, and they say will be turned into student housing after the Olympic Games. And don't forget, those Winter Olympics run February 6th to the 22nd, only right here on Coast TV.
Forward to that. Winter Games are my favorite as we take a live look into Rehoboth. Seas beginning to relax after that coastal storm skirted by our east over the weekend. 27 in Rehoboth, and we are looking at mostly sunny skies through the afternoon. You get your latest forecast by calling our First Alert Weather Phone. Your 10-day forecast is up next. Plenty of sunshine to kick off this first full week of February. Getting to the freezing mark today, over that tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be the pick of the week. We'll have a late snow shower overnight into Wednesday, very light. We stay dry and chilly through the end of the week, and then another round of some light snow Friday night will give way to, well, an Arctic blast just in time for the Super Bowl. Get in there and watch the game, and then we see those temperatures rise back into the lower 40s into the early part of next week. Grace.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you for joining us for Coast TV News Midday. If you'd like more local news or local weather, you can download our Coast TV News app. And don't forget to join us back here for Coast TV News at 5 later this afternoon. Until then, have a great Monday.